Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. It's your girl Mimi Blaine some more. Sorry, I've been away for some time now. My other profession called. So today I want to share with you how I made this lovely souvenir bag. Actually doing bulk order from a customer. So I thought it wise to share it with you. So if you're interested in this tutorial, keep watching to the end, and if you love the video, please like, share so that others can also benefit, subscribe to the channel and be part of this community. All right, let's get straight into the tutorial. So for this bag, fortunately, like I said, I started working on them before I thought it wise to share. So this part is actually the front pocket, as you saw. It's an afrocentric souvenir bag. So the Ankara part measured 9.5 by 9.5. Then I also added taffeta material to the back to make it firm. Okay, to make the pocket firm. So the taffeta measures 8.5 by 8, which is the actual size of the pocket. Then I try to hem the edges of the Ankara fabric to fit perfectly to the size of the pocket. Okay, so I'm going to trim the excess of the Ankara. That's after I've hemmed it around. Okay, so I'm trimming off the excess. Okay, so I'll also be needing this. This is the belt. I'll also be using it for the handle and also as taping. Okay, then I will also be using this. We call it hook and loop. Some people call it husband and wife. Okay, just use about 2 inches for this design. Then I have the two sides of the bag. Okay, so the length is 13 inches. Okay, so 13 inches, while the width is 12 inches. Okay, I have this in 2 pieces. Okay, then the side, how do you know the side that will go round? Okay, so since this length is 13, okay, while this the width is 12, so 13 by 12, that is 25 plus another 13. Okay, so that's going to give us what? 38. Okay, so this is the length of the side panel I'll use in connecting the 2 sides of the bag. Okay, then the whiteness depends on you, depends on how big or small, sorry, how big or small you want your bag to be. So if you want it to contain more things, then it will be wider. So for me, I use 5 inches. Okay, this is 5 inches. So but I have a very long strap because I'm working on multiple bags, so I don't want to start cutting it. If you're just working on a few or just one, you have to cut 38 inches, okay, which is going to go around perfectly. Okay, I didn't ask you to add allowance. Okay, you see the method I'm using. With the method I'm using, you don't need to add extra allowance. But if you know that you're not very good in your measurement, you can add 1 inch allowance such that once it is excess you can cut. Okay, so you can make it 39 or even 40, so that once you have excess you can cut. But you know, all those small materials they are wasting is money. Okay, that's why you see I didn't want to cut this, so that once I get my perfect size I can now trim off, since I'm working on multiple bags. Okay, so I think that's all for what we'll be using in this bag. So let's get to the tutorial proper. so I can use any side as a front. So I'm using this part as a front. So I'm going to find the center of my front. Just give it a little crease or mark it with a chalk. Okay. I'll do the same for my pockets. Meanwhile, this is the upper part because of this little straight line. Okay, so it's the upper part. So I'm going to fold this one into two to get the center. So this is the center. So I'm going to face the Ankara to the right side up. So as the back side, even though you have taffeta as the lining, so the wrong side of the pocket facing the right side of the bag. Okay, I'm going to align the two centers together. Okay, I will pin them to ensure that there's no unwanted movement. Okay. So make sure that it's straight, keep it straight. Further confirm, you can actually measure from here to here. So I have about 1.875 and about the same thing here, so make sure that it's centralized. 1.875. okay, so I'm going to sew. So based on the way I have attached the Ankara to the taffeta, I already have a line here, so I'll try my best to still follow the same line while I am sewing, so I will not have a double line. Okay, so that's what I'm going to be doing now. So I'm attaching the pockets to the front panel. Follow the first line, so I got 2 lines, sorry for that noise. Okay, I'm gonna remove my pin so it doesn't spoil my machine while sewing. Okay, get it back to that line, put my needle down, lift up, press up, put, and then continue. Trying to sew on that former line as close as possible. So corner, we are there. For the center at the top piece part of the bag, so I can crease it, put a mark. So 2 ways, either from the side, you measure 9 centimeters, okay, on both sides, or from the center. Let me turn my tape this way, so that's what I'm saying. So from this center, I can put it at 3, so that 3 away from that center to the right, 3 away from that center to the left. I will mark. Okay. Okay, since I'm using 1 inch bias to tape the belt, I'm going to come down by 2 inches only. Okay, so 2 inches is slightly lower down. It's slightly lower than 1 inch. Okay, so that's why I'm coming down like that. So that's when I put my belt, it's not going to show. below the other belt I'm using for taping. I hope you understand what I'm saying. Okay, when we are doing it, you understand. So the handle of the bag, okay, I forgot to tell you initially. So what I'm going to be using, I'm going to be using a total of 32 inches. Okay, that's for the whole both handles, 32 inches. So usually good to cut it this way and divide it into 2 equal parts so that one handle will not be longer than the other. Okay, so this is what I have, 32. So I'm going to divide it into 2. So I have 2 handles, which is what I'm going to be using. Okay, so I'm going to burn the edges of the handle so it does not fray while I insert it. So I'm using my gas lighter to burn the 4 edges of the handle. Okay, trim this to be neat. So the reason why you're burning this is so that it should not fray. All this thing is like thread, so it's going to loosen and free if you don't burn it. Okay, so that's that. So these are the 2 handles. So this is my belt. Try to identify the side I consider the front. So this is the front for me. I think either side can go, so I prefer this side. Okay, it's all about preference. So I'm going to put the edge of this belt to the edge of the body of the bag as the topmost part. I'm going to sew as close as possible, like 1/8 of an inch if possible. Okay, so be careful so that you don't pass where you marked for your belt, so or the where you marked for your handle. So this is where I marked for my handle. Hope you can see. So I'm going to put this, make sure that it's at this 3-inch point from the center, and also lower level should be at 2 centimeters. Then I use my belt to cover it and sew using 1/8 of an inch. Okay, so we'll continue this. So before you get to the other mark, make sure you cuff your handle very well. Make sure that it's not bent. So you see what I'm doing. So this is it. Follow it like this. Okay, so you're going to put the handle before that mark, that 3-inch mark, and also you should be at that 2 centimeters lower point. Okay, so I'm going to continue sewing 1/8 of an inch. Turn. This is not compulsory. You can actually cut your thread. I just want to sew this lower part, so it doesn't matter how you go about it. So when you are doing this, be careful so that you don't sew your taping. So 1/8 again of an inch, the lower part of the taping. Has finished. It hasn't. Okay. So I'm going to trim off the excess of the taping. So this is the first handle attached. Okay, I'm going to get the back part of the bag. We're going to get the center. So getting the center just like we did. So I'm going to repeat the same thing that we did to achieve the handle. Okay, so most likely I'll be fast forwarding this part of the video and I'm editing it so that our video will not be unnecessarily long. I'm doing the same thing like I did before. So center of this uppermost part on the wrong side. Okay, so I'm going to mark it. Do the same thing here. Find the center on the wrong side. I'm going to mark it. So that point is where we are going to be putting our magic tape. So it has a soft side and a hard side. So the soft side I'll put it on the back of the bag, but that's where the customer will likely peel off. We'll try to peel off when trying to open the bag. Okay, so it does not hurt the person's hand. So this is it. An easy way to cut the other side. That's why they're called husband and wife. They like can glue to each other, like how couples glue to themselves. So I've attached it so that they'll be equal and we can now cut. Okay, so that's the easy way to cut it without getting stuck or scattering it. Okay, so like I said, I'm going to do the soft parts on the back side. So this is the back side of the body of the bag. Let me check, like my Rayla thread has finished. It hasn't. Okay. So let's continue. So we're putting the same. That's going to fit into. Let me get its own center too. So it's always good to mark all these things so your work will be neat. So I'll match their centers together. Make sure that the edge of the magic tape or hook and loop is also on the edge of the back now. So round. So when I want to turn, I leave my needle inside. Okay. For neat finishing, try to align the seam without using sewing the handle so that you don't have lines running over your back. It's unlikely to show because the handle is just like thread as well. So once you use machine thread, it will not show no matter even if you go off track. Okay, so this is for the front side of the back. So I'm going to also get a center. I'm going to focus. Okay, so make sure that the edges are equal to the edge of the bag. So the next step, I'm moving on. Next step, let's try to hold this. What I like, align the handles together. So once I align the handles, this cloth will just take a shape. And some excess stretcher. Just on it. So I'm getting the side, this is the side panel. Okay. This is the side I've been using before, so it's straight, so I'm going to use this. Okay. So this is the reason why I said you should not, you should not add allowance to the length. Okay. But that's because I'm going to be taping it too. I like to tape my edges. Most people add allowance because they will fold it. I don't like folding it. I like taping it too. Make sure that the edge is matching. So the lower part of it, so I'm going to go down and sew it. Then we will do the other tip on 1/8 of an inch. Okay, so just do it on one side. By the time you join the sides, do it on the ends. Just watching, see what I'm doing. Okay, so put the tip. Okay. So we match this, ensure that they are equal. Okay. Once we have that, we can actually split this. Just to give you perfect alignment so that your back is straight and one side will be longer than the other. So we start sewing. So I'm bringing this side to the body of the back. Doing this because I'm still going to use taping, so like half of an inch or quarter of an inch downwards. See, I've marked it. Okay. So once I get there, from my quarter of an inch from the bottom, I'm going to turn this. Then I start sewing. Okay, continue sewing. When I get to this other corner, I'm going to mark another quarter of an inch. Then once I get there, I will stop. And turn the back so that I continue attaching. What I do to get the same, just going to use a chalk and mark this so I'll just slightly below this, slightly. So this is the end. So now I'm going to also take this end. See, that's why I said there is no need, but if you know that you don't want to tape it like I'm doing, make sure you add allowance which you fold this so that the rough edge will not be showing. Okay, so I'm going to take this down. It's not sew to the seam, just the side seam. Okay? It's not necessary for me to sew to that side seam, because you're still going to use tape to hold it together. Okay, so let me sew the lower part of the table, this one. Come back now. Oh, I think I over trimmed it or something. Okay, now I think this cuts in the way, cut in the way. So you can actually sew this down again. So this is the back side of the bag. I'm going to also attach it to this side I'm sewing there. So I'm going to sew it round like this. So just try to fold this so that they are together, align them so that even if there's a little gap maybe because of cutting, you can easily adjust it at the bottom. It's better to adjust at the bottom, not at the top. The top should be neat, but that's what everybody's saying. Okay, get the framework. Okay, so align the sides. You can sew. We are doing exactly the same thing we did on the other side. Get there, I will stop. So I leave my needle in the back before I turn. So don't take the needle out, so leave it there so that you can easily turn the body of the back. So I keep showing till I get to bottom, the lower part. Leave my needle in the fabric and I turn this the body over the sides and I keep sewing. Don't worry if you find this part a little difficult. With practice to get better. Same thing. See, it's perfectly aligned. Okay, but even if it's perfectly aligned, but even if it wasn't, you can easily adjust the lower part, like small plates, and then make sure that so moving on to the last part of the bag. Our back is starting already, so you can't leave this edges raw like this, so you have to do something. So that is what we call taping. So I'm going to use my 1-inch belt to do the taping. I can round all the corners, so see other parts that's still shooting out, I'll just trim it around all the corners so that my taping will be neat. Around all the 4 corners, taping will be neat. Make sure that you don't cut yourself while doing this. So with my 1-inch taping, I'm going to tape, I call it round. So round. Okay. So don't start at the edge, leave a little distance above. We use this one for burning so that you can seal those edges but it will not fray. Okay, we try to make the taping to be equal as possible. That's the upper part and the lower part. Then one thing you need to know while you're taping is to ensure that your presser foot is on the edge of this upper part for best results. So that's it. The tip you should always follow. Then another tip, I try to also divide my taping with my chop so that no matter how fast I am, I ensure that I am at the center so that my upper layer and lower layer will be balanced. Okay, please give the work neat finishing. So then you can eyeball it fine. Like I like to use chalk. I don't have irregular taping. So you can see what I'm doing. So when I get to this point where I did the sewing, I'll mark it horizontally. So know that that's where I'm going to turn. Try to ensure that the edge of your presser foot is on the edge of the upper part of your taping for best results. Okay, so another point. Leave my needle inside. Keep the needle my taping. So when I'm here, you need to ensure that your presser foot is on that upper part for neat results. Taping will not be uniform and you will not like it. Okay? See? This is what we have. And presser foot is moving away. I'm trying to make sure that this is like that you need some muscle. Yes, let me use that word. You need some muscle to get this thing. That's how you press me. So I'm going to mark this. See? I just need some muscle to keep everything balance. You can get me work. So that's what makes it seem like it's all aspects of this souvenir bag making. Stickers. That's why most people run away from it. But it makes the back very beautiful. Adds color. If you're using a contrasting color, also add a nice finishing touch to it. Just get a little bit of the material to cover it. So if you have been watching this video to this point, I will show us some love by liking this video and sharing it, and also subscribing to the channel so that whenever we upload YouTube videos like this, you will be the first to be informed so that you can watch it and take value from it. You can see it goes some energy. Alright, so this is become the front side, so we're going to do the back side. Same thing. So I'll likely forward this aspects while editing the video so that this video will not be too So give this video a thumbs up, share our videos, subscribe. Yeah, let's grow this community together. Keep watching our videos. Love you all. I'd like to know what you think about this souvenir bag in the comment section below. See you next time. Signing out. Bye.